Exercise C. When the sprite touches something blue, it plays a high note. When the sprite touches something red, it plays a low note. Now I gave you a little diagram of what the backdrop should look like. You can make that from scratch. So let's go to the backdrop and we're going to paint our own backdrop. And so on the backdrop, you're going to place a large red ball. So we're going to go to the fill. We're going to change this fill color to red. Let's see, red. That's a good color. So that's the fill color for your circle. I'm going to make a large one. Okay. And now I am going to change. Let's see if it changes that one. Yep, it did. Okay, we don't want that. We want it to be red. I like that red. Dark red. Okay. And now we're going to change the fill color and we're going to make a blue one. So I'm going to make a blue circle. Okay, so now I've got a red and a blue circle, and I'm going to go back to code. All right, so here's my little cat. He's actually kind of big. I'm going to decrease his size. So let's see, he's at 100. Let's make him 75. Let's see if that's smaller. That's good. And in order for the cat to move around the stage, this is a big concept. This is going to be, you're going to learn how to move move your sprite with your keyboard. We're going to use the arrow keys to move our sprite around. So, since it's the arrow keys, we're going to go to Events, and when the up arrow is pressed, I'm going to actually do this easy. I'm going to duplicate, because you need 4 of them. Right? So this is easy. So up arrow, we'll make this the down arrow. We'll make this the right arrow, and we'll make this the left arrow. Okay, so when the right arrow is pressed, we just want the sprite to move forward like 10 steps. So that's good. So that's the regular right arrow. All right, so for the left arrow, we want the sprite to move a negative 10 steps. Right, so negative 10 steps is going to move it backwards. Now, remember we talked about the axis, the X and the Y axis? You could have said move on the X axis 10, but moving 10, it automatically puts it on the X axis. So we're going to go to Y here. In this case, what we want to do is the up arrow is going to change Y by 10, and the down arrow is going to change Y by negative 10. So let's try that. Okay, let's see now. I'm going to move my arrow keys. Cat moves up, cat moves over, cat moves down, cat moves back. So that's the way you, in any of your games, you're going to get to move your sprite around. All right, so we've got those all done, so I'm just going to move those over here. So they're kind of out of the way. And now we're going to program what the challenge is, which is when the sprite touches something blue, it plays a high note, and something red, it plays a low note. So let's go. We can say touching color. So here it is. So if, now we're on the sprite, so this is the sprite's code. If the sprite is touching the color red, all right, we need to change that to, let's see. If we click on that, what the best thing to do whenever you're doing color is to use this little eyedropper. If you click on the eyedropper and then you click here, it puts the exact right color in there. So if the sprite is touching the color red, we want it to play a low note. So now we're going to go to sound. We're going to, actually we have to add a sound, a low note. So we're going to go to sounds. We're going to look for, up here it's got notes. You've got high notes and you've got low notes. So there's a low note. All right, so we're going to take this for our low note. And as long as we're there, we might as well get our high note too. All right, that's a high note. We'll use that. So we've got a low note and a high note. So let's go back here. So we're going to say play sound. This is the low note, so it should be the trombone. All right. And then we're also going to duplicate the same thing. And we're going to say if touching, we have to now change the color. So click once, go to the eyedropper. Okay, if we're touching the color blue, we're going to play the other note. All right, so because you want this to happen all the way through the program, you need to wrap it in a forever loop. So it happens all the time and it will keep happening. All right, and then you also need to have your when clicked event and your starting position for your cat. So we're going to start the cat there. And we're going to go to right there. So now when it's clicked, we should be able to use the arrow keys. Let's see what happens. There's my high note. As soon as I move it away, it stops playing that. There's my low note. All right, so have fun with this one. Exercise C.